Good evening. I'll tell you why I'm laughing. I'm sat on my own drive at home in my car, and it's not that I forgot to review the film as I came out. It's that I wasn't in my car when I went to the cinema because my car failed its MOT yesterday, so it's not legal to drive it. So I walked to the cinema this afternoon to see the film, and it's a 40-minute walk, and it was all going fine until about 10 minutes before I got to the Odeon when the heavens opened and I was absolutely soaked to the skin. So I enjoyed the film with soggy leggings, bare feet. I took my trainers and my socks off and wondered, was it worth the effort? And I'm happy to report it was. So this afternoon's film, I was going to go and see it last night until my car got condemned. It's called Bros, and it is a queer romantic comedy. And it's written by Billy Eichner, who is a comedian and an actor and a queer icon. And it tells the story of Bobby. God, I couldn't think of his character's name there for a second. It tells the story of Bobby, who is a podcaster, and he's involved in the curating of America's first ever queer history museum in New York. And he's got friends, and he's got, a job he loves, and he's convinced that his life is fine as it is. He hooks up with men via Grindr, so he's sort of ticking that box in his life, if you like. And he says he doesn't need a relationship. They don't work for him. He's emotionally unavailable, and he's absolutely fine with that. And then he meets Aaron in a club. And Aaron is sort of different to him in that he's much more of your sort of buff, shirtless gay guy. When they meet in the club, Aaron's shirtless with a cap on, and that's kind of very much the vibe. I mean, he's beautiful, Aaron. He's so handsome. What's the actor's name? I want to say Luke McFarlane. I hope that's right. But they meet and they chat and they make each other laugh. So they get together and they have a date. And the film is a typical rom-com in that they get on and then they fall out, and then their families and blah, 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 and crossed wires and, emotional damage and all the stuff that normally factors in a romantic comedy, except the leads are two men. And that's just the way it is. I loved this film. I've just had a quick look online. Apparently it didn't do very well in the States, and The Independent called it a big mess. And rom-com isn't usually my genre. I don't make a point of watching them. I always say my favourite rom-com of all time is When Harry Met Sally. And there are a few that I like, but it's never a genre that I would go out of my way to see. And they tend to be formulaic, and they tend to star the same sort of people. So this was different, and I just opened myself up to it, and it was such a warm and wonderful film. And it was about the importance of, being true to yourself, for being loved for who you are, and finding that person that just makes sense to you and fits you like a puzzle piece. And it's not to say that there haven't been queer love stories up to this point, but I definitely think there's a shift in that this was a mainstream romantic comedy. It just happened to be a queer romantic comedy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is references to, butt effing. I'm censoring myself because I never know who watches these and what children might be around when they do, even though my videos are on YouTube as not for kids. But yeah, there's talk of butt effing quite early doors, and obviously you do see quite a lot of bedroom action with the male cast members, and it's not gratuitous or anything like that. It's the same way you would see straight sex in a 15 rated romantic comedy, and it's really sharp and it's really witty. Billy Eichner plays the lead role of Bobby, and I really enjoyed it. there's some great characters in it who are obviously played by trans actors and queer actors, and it's just that visibility is so important. And like I say, I just think there's a shift coming, because this year we've seen a queer teen love story play out in Heartstopper on Netflix, which has sort of hit such a huge audience. There's teens who are, you know, I just think that, say my daughter's generation, she's 13, I just think they're so much more fluid and open in their approach to love and, you know, gender and how they identify. And but this film was about a 40-year-old queer man who's never, you know, never had love and doesn't think he's going to get it, doesn't think he's worthy of it. And as somebody who's 40 and single and pansexual, I did find myself crying at the end, because I was just like, but I want love. And at this point, I don't really care where it comes from. I mean, I do. I want it to be genuine. I want it to be real. But it could be with a man or with a woman, because all I've ever wanted is to fall in love and to have that rom-com love, if it exists. And sometimes I just think that it won't happen for me, you know. I realise that, you know, there's still time and all that sort of stuff. And I have been in love before, but yeah, I would like movie love, please. I want what Bobby and Aaron have and what other characters have in this film and in other films. And like watching Heartstopper just took me back to that teen thing of like teen infatuation, of wanting to be with somebody, thinking about them all the time, doodling their name on your notebook at school and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed Bros. It was very funny, it was very sharp, witty, warm, wonderful, great performances all around. It was nice to see Dot Marie Jones, who played the character of Cherry in this and played Coach Beast in Glee. And there was lots of lovely references to things like Queer Eye and Glee and Will and Grace and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it was a lovely way to spend 2 hours, and I would encourage anybody who is open-minded to give it a watch, because it was an absolute delight. It's a big thumbs up from me, for Bros. And it's a big thumbs down for the rain that I got caught in on the way to the cinema. That's it. Thanks for watching. Katie out.